Let's take a look at too much, too many, too few, too little, and in general, this word here, too. T-double-O. It means in excess or more than the right amount. It has a negative connotation. It is not the same as very or a lot or so much or anything like that. It has a negative meaning. Okay? Very important to remember. We're using too many and too few with plural count nouns. Too much and too little with non-count nouns. I've got some simple grammar patterns over here. We'll use there is with these non-count nouns. So there is too much, there is too little of something. There is too much blank, there is too little blank. There is too little cheese on this pizza. This means there is not enough cheese on the pizza. I don't like it because there is too little cheese. There's too much salt in the soup means again I don't like it because there is an excessive amount of salt. It tastes bad because there's too much. There's too little money in my account to purchase this car. Again, using there is in every case with the non-count noun. Too little money in my account means I don't have enough money in this account to buy this car. It has a negative connotation. Same thing here, except we're using there are. There are too many, there are too few, plural count noun. We know a plural count noun generally because it changes from singular to plural. Usually we just add an S, sometimes an ES. Person and people is a count noun, even though the entire word changes except for the first letter. There are too many people in my class for my teacher to speak directly with everybody. Means there are so many students that the teacher can't talk to everybody independently. There are goes with that count noun, plural count noun. Okay, there is an excessive amount of people in my class. There are too few employers that offer generous salary and benefits packages. Means I would like to have more employers offer generous salary and benefits packages. There aren't enough of them. Employer changes to employers for the plural count noun. Very simple. Regular count noun, just add an S. Again, there are too many olives in this salad. I don't want so many olives. There are too many of them. Just add an S to the count noun. Too has a negative connotation. There are too few sheep in the pasture. Now, sheep is a very irregular count noun. I don't assume that many people are going to be using this type of language, but in fact, with sheep and fish and deer, because it is plural, then we're going to use are. No reason to think too hard about that one, but it is a count noun, even though it doesn't change. There are too few sheep in the pasture. Next up, we're looking at too plus an adjective to say that something has a negative result or a negative attribute, or we could describe it as being negative in some way. For example, the music is too loud. So we have a noun plus a be verb plus too and an adjective. This is not the same as the music is very loud. Very loud means yes, it's loud, but we haven't really established that it is excessive, right? The music is seriously loud. The music is incredibly loud. These are all adjectives that, or they're all descriptive words to describe the adjective. Excuse me. Too loud means it's excessively loud, right? It is a negative connotation. He is too short to be a professional basketball player. So we got our subject, be verb, too short is our adjective, and then we have some kind of other optional information. He's too short to be a professional basketball player means he is not tall enough. He needs to be taller if he wants to be a professional basketball player. The custom Lamborghini is too expensive, so I'm not interested. Means it's excessively expensive. It's not just very expensive, but it is too expensive, meaning I don't like it. I don't want it anymore because it is more expensive than the maximum price I would like to pay. Okay? Important thing to remember is that too is not the same as very. They're not interchangeable. Next up, modals of possibility. We're using may, might, and could to express possibility in the present or future. May, might, and could are followed by the base form of the verb. The negative of possibility in the present or future is may not or might not. We don't use could not because could not is for the past and it means impossible. use may, might, or could for something that is possible but not certain, and we'll use will to describe something that is certain or that we think is certain. Look here, subject clause could be more than just a subject, would be a subject clause, plus may, might, could, and then a base verb, and then something else is optional. So consumption taxes, that's our subject, and they might generate. It's not sure, but could be, it's possible, certainly. Could generate, might generate, may generate enough revenue for the government to pay for all of its projects. Generate means create or make. The dean may cancel classes tomorrow because of the rainstorm. Here's our subject, our modal of possibility. It is possible that he will or could. It's possible that he may cancel classes tomorrow because of the rainstorm, right? Our teacher said the exam could have up to 25 questions about grammar. Our teacher said the exam, that's our subject clause. And then here's our modal, followed by base verb, and then our object clause in the end. It might have as many as 25 questions about grammar. It could, may, or might all would work there. Next, general pattern. Subject clause plus may not or might not plus base verb and then something optional to describe impossibility or the negative possibility. The negative possibility, not the impossibility. On the other hand, the new tax might not make anything better. It might make something better, but it might not. That's a negative possibility, right? The negative of possibility is not the same as impossible. It's that it might not. It's not impossible that it could happen, but it is possible that it won't happen. It might not happen. My PC may not have enough memory available to copy that file. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, but it may not. My PC may not have enough memory. I might not be able to finish my assignment by Sunday. So maybe I will finish, but I might not finish. It's possible either way. Next up, subject clause plus could not plus base verb and optional. This is for the past tense again, meaning impossible. He tried, but he could not fix. How do we know it's in the past tense? Well, we've got past tense there, we've got past tense there. He tried, but he could not fix the TV after it broke. And second up, the cookies were so good. Here's our past tense. We know we're in the past tense, and so we know this is impossible. The cookies were so good that I couldn't resist eating more than one. It means it was impossible that I would just eat only one, because they were just so delicious. Next up, I think plus subject plus might for possibility. Pretty close to what we just discussed. And I'm sure plus subject plus will for certainty. So it's important that we distinguish between I think something will happen and I'm sure something will happen. I think something will happen. This is uncertain. And so we're using might because it's not certain. Might, ... Okay, I'm sure this is certain. So we are going to use will. And then ... I'm sure blank will happen. I think blank will happen. These are different. Very important to remember the difference there. And these two things are the most important tips or clues to that. May and might are modals. Maybe is an adverb. Also very important to remember. If we say something like this, it may be rainy tomorrow, that is not the same as maybe it will rain tomorrow. It's the same meaning, but it may be rainy tomorrow. This is a modal and a base verb. This here is an adverb that's describing will rain. Maybe I'll go home and study. Maybe. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, but it's certainly possible. It's not guaranteed. That's not the same as let's see here, I may go home and study. Not the same. This is a modal, may. This is an adverb. Very important to remember. If you see maybe at the beginning of a sentence, you need a subject after it. You need a subject every time. May will come after the subject, before the base verb. So you're not going to see maybe before a base verb. Never. You're not going to see I maybe will go home, or I will maybe go home, or I'll go home maybe and study. Nothing like that. Just like you're not going to see may I go home and study unless it's a question. And you're not going to see I go home may and study. Nothing like that. So maybe going to look like this. Maybe plus subject plus verb plus object. Right? Maybe just comes at the beginning of a sentence. That's pretty much all you have to remember. May does not come at the beginning of a sentence. Pretty easy. Right? So remember that if you see I think or anything like that, it's uncertain, and use might. I'm sure, or anything like that, is certain, and you'll use will. Other than that, could not goes only in the past tense. It is not used in the present or future tense to describe the negative possibility. It's used in the past tense to describe impossibility, which is not the same as negative possibility. However, in the present and future tense, otherwise, in the positive, may, might, and could are all used interchangeably. And again, to has a negative connotation. If there's too much or too little, we use non-count nouns with there is. It means there's an excessive amount or there's not enough. Similarly, we use there are with too many or too few plus plural count nouns, and that means there is an excessive amount or, again, not enough.